6, 5.
Do you count down or do you count up? Like, are you a 1, 2, 3 go or are you a 3, 2, 1 go guy?
I mean, I'm usually a countdown, 3, 2, 1. But I'm also notorious for not actually getting to one. 3, 2, yank the tooth out or pull the band-aid off, something like that.
I feel like I'm more of a count up person. Like, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 and then go. Unless I'm really tired, then I'm going to give myself a countdown.
I guess it really doesn't make sense to count up because if you're counting up, you're supposed to be counting down to something, right? Counting up would be going away from it, I feel.
Your argument
I
makes
don't-
perfect sense, but I also don't agree with it. I feel like, no, you on three. So you go 1, 2, 3. You wouldn't say on three and then go three. Thought about this because I was at the gym. And for some reason, if I'm doing like a lot of reps, I'm always doing a lot of weight. So like, look, we know that granted I'm pushing heavy weight, but if I'm doing a lot of reps, I find it easier to count up. But if I'm doing a low number of reps with even heavier weight, then I'm going to count down. And somehow that changes my mindset about how I'm approaching something.
It's interesting. That's a good way to put it. I never thought about it that way.
I don't like talking about working out. Working out is getting on the list of things that I don't like talking about anymore. Mainly because I don't think that I have the right to talk about working out because I don't look like a kind of guy who should be talking about working out.
I agree with that, but I also think some people need that sense of camaraderie, that community. They need to tell somebody that they ran a mile and get that, even if it's a second of positivity or something, reaffirmation from another person. I think that's how like I'm that way when I run. I'm part of a little group, I guess, and every time you run, it's like, hey, we did this today, and they're like, hey, great job, and I'm not running at a marathon pace. You know what I mean? I'm running at a fat guy pace. I don't deserve any credit.
I just guess I feel like that's lying to people. Because if you're out there and you're running a 10-minute mile, I can't just sit there and honestly say good job to you. Because I don't think that that's really good.
Which to most people that is fantastic, by the way. I don't want your cynicism to dissuade people. I mean, it's not like if it was my job, and I don't want to say me, if it was a person's job to run a mile for a living, and yeah, they did it at a 10-minute pace, okay. But I feel like you have a different, conceivement of a person then. If it's their job to run a mile and they post a 10-minute mile, you're like, well, what are you doing? You're failing at your job. But if you're a dad who works 50 hours a week, has a family, doesn't, keep up the greatest, and you run a 10-minute mile, good job, man. Good on you.
I just, I agree with you. I agree with you. I just can't be that whatever with people. Because I could say, hey, man,
Okay.
that's really good for you. But I wouldn't be just like, hey, good job. That's really good. You ran a mile in
Okay.
15 minutes. Well, it's not.
Let me let me ask you a question, and then we can move on because I feel like we've spent a lot of time on this. One of your coworkers, whatever, you're in the office and you're just making small talk, and they go, "Man, I ran 2 miles this morning at 12-minute 50-second pace." You're gonna say good job. You're not. There's no way a person is gonna look at that other person unless you know them that well and be like, "Oh man, that sucks. Like you
Mm.
suck."
Yeah, I agree with you. I could say with honesty that that's good for you for going out and doing that. It's good that you did it, but I'm not going to say to you that that was good. I'm glad that you are showing up, which is probably the most important part for most things, is just doing them. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that that's good.
But are you, being the person that's giving the reaction, are you really gonna say that? Say like, "Hey, good job for at least getting out there."
Oh, no, I would say, like, oh, that's good. But in my
Okay, all
mind,
right.
I'm not. Like, I think that this is some of the things, is right. Like, we're kind of always lying to people all the time.
I mean, yeah, we live in a world that, yeah, we live in a world that's fabricated to make people think they're bigger, better, stronger than they are. But I also think on the flip side of that is some people who are at the top are complete liars and falsifiers, and it's all just one big muddy pool at the end of the day.
Yeah, I don't want to contribute to that. That's the way that I see it. I do not want to contribute to the lying cesspool that is society. I'm going to be
Listen,
honest with you.
I
It's
want
like,
to.
hey, I'm glad for you for doing it, man. I'm glad for you for getting out there, but that's not really a good time.
Well, I appreciate my group because I don't look like a runner. I never have, and they still tell me good job. All right, even at fat guy pace miles, which you know that's what I do, which is fine for me.
Okay. Good for you. I'm glad you are out there doing stuff. But I'm not going
Listen,
to
I
sit
have
here
a
and tell
question.
you that okay.
I saw on Father's Day you had a nice little jaunt, had a nice little time at the Mariners game.
I did. I went to the Mariners game. Had a great time. Got hot dogs.
Congrats to your
Cheap.
wife.
Do you know how cheap the Mariners have food at their place? This is the best thing
So
about the
that's so. Hold on. So I want you to say that, but I also want you to answer the question after that. To would you rather go? Because I'm guessing what you spend. You don't have to say it, but 50, $100 probably on the day, right? Maybe a little more.
I mean, this is the perks of having a wife that is a teacher. We got free tickets.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Let's just say tickets were $25 a piece, right? We'll just
Yeah,
say that.
that's a reasonable amount. I would say 25 to 30 is you can get nosebleeds at the Mariners game for that. Yeah.
Would you rather go to 10 Mariners games or two World Cup matches?
I mean, two World Cup matches simply
Okay.
because that is more of an experience. And then if you start going to things pretty regularly, I think that they start to lose the specialness of them. It becomes a
Okay.
habit. I
That's
think
fair.
anytime you start doing something really regularly, each individual event becomes less special. World Cup
I
is
mean,
pretty
listen,
crazy.
I give Seattle credit. I'm sure you haven't cared to join in any of the fun, but USA played there last Thursday, I think, or Friday, and it seemed like the whole city showed out. So that was
Oh,
good on them.
I was shocked. I was really surprised. I had to work that day and like actually work, like you actually have to do work today. And pretty much every bar that you went past, there was people there at 11 o'clock throughout the entire city. I live about 5 miles away from the stadium, and they were busy all over the place. The whole city was out for it. It's cool. Like even if you don't aren't lucky enough to be able to go to one of the games, it's pretty cool to go check out the environment. You don't live in a major city, so you won't be able to do that. But
I knew it. You're right. I don't know. I understand why Detroit didn't get a game, but also at the same point, Dallas, Boston, they all made their football stadiums into soccer pitches. Detroit could have done that. We have Ford Field, but we weren't selected. So
Detroit's not. Everybody knows Detroit's not on that level as a city. Detroit is not capable
that's
of
fair.
that kind of thing. They're not a championship. They're not a championship kind of city. They don't want any of the World Cup teams playing in a city. It's going to ruin the vibes. World Cup teams don't want to play in a city that's not used to championships.
I'm gonna move on to shoutouts now before you have my blood boil over. All right, here's some shoutouts for us this week. Leo Bradley, Jude Bell, Andrew Hawkins, Tyree Moss, Ben Hogan, Alan Diaz, Jake Wells, Nicholas Townsend, Mason Duran, and Bob Wipin. I was more confident when I wrote that one or when I put that one on my phone that I would get it correct. But now I'm not sure if it's Wapan or Wipin, so I'm just gonna go Wipin.
How do you spell
Waipen.
it? Weapon? Wapen? I bet it's Wapen. I really don't
It's
know
probably
how to pronounce things.
yeah.
I'm not good with
I
words.
I've been doing this for 8 years. I still don't know people's names apparently, and I'm the one who selects the names. Um,
Okay.
all right. I did something last Friday that I think people look at as well. They're mostly gone now. I think in America, I can't say for the rest of the world, but um, they're like a vintage thing to do. And I thought I would have enjoyed it a lot more than I did, but I actually did not like it at all. And that was I went to a drive-in movie theater.
The last time I was at a drive-in, I got arrested. That's how long it's
Do
been
you?
for underage drinking. That's how long it's been to go to a
Okay.
drive-in. I just don't want to do things that I could do more conveniently. Like, hey, you want to go sit outside in the summer heat and watch a movie from really far away? No, I don't.
I mean, I give the driving credit. I'm sure it's this way everywhere that has them. But now you can tune in your car. You know, they have Bluetooth, blah blah blah. That was fine. It's just I don't know. I just you adding kids to the mix, and it just wasn't the greatest. Like I'd rather go to a movie theater and sit in
Oh
a
yeah,
reclined seat and just be in a controlled place. I guess if that makes any sense.
right. It's just I don't want more inconvenience. And I think that the drive-ins have gone away because it's just an inconvenient way of doing something. So wait, I can go and sit in my car for 2 hours. That's not really what I want to do because it just reminds me of being in traffic. And then I can watch a movie from much farther away on a crappier screen and pay a good amount of money for it. Like none of that sounds appealing. Each one of those things is worse than the alternative.
Like, but then I thought about like the drive-in. That's all they do is movies. Like, I feel like they're missing out on all kinds of profits. Do sports games, like do stuff. Like at night when it's dark, like people will come out. But yeah, no, I'm good. I did it once. I told my wife like, and she had to make a big like whoop-de-doo of it. We had to take like an air mattress so the kids could sleep or lay in the back of the car and all this stuff.
Oh,
And I'm
that's
like,
way too much work. Yeah, that's
yeah,
the kind of thing that
wait.
even
Right.
if you have a good time doing it once, it was because of that moment. Like that's not going to be a regular thing. Like, you know what I really love doing? Sitting in my car and watching a movie.
Yeah. Well, it was not. I mean, it was nice, but yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's one of those things I don't ever have to do it again.
Okay, how much was it?
Um, it was $32 for a card.
Oh,
I mean,
that's a hard no for me.
but like comparatively to if you go to the movie theater, aren't tickets $7 to $10 a person?
Yeah,
So it's kind of the same thing. Like,
yeah. To me, that's relatively the same amount of money for a much worse thing.
here's something you won't care about, but I feel like I want to ask anyways because
Okay.
for some reason I've had multiple discussions about this the last week.
Okay.
But Jellyroll, Jellyroll, the singer.
That's a person that I have intentionally. I am familiar with him enough to answer your questions, but that is a person that I intentionally stay away from. Like as soon as I see any headline that starts with Jelly Roll, I'm not
I
listening. The
mean,
thing, the thing that I have heard about Jelly Roll that seemed to sum all of him up for me is he's the kind of person who makes music for people who have tattoos of their kids but not custody.
I mean, one could argue that's what most country music is, but I don't want to go there or say that on the record.
That was the. I mean, once I read that about Jelly Roll, I was like, I think that's all I need to
Oh
know about
man,
Jelly Roll. Pretty good without him.
who put that in there? Rolling Stone, GQ. They put that quote.
I don't remember. I saw it in the comments, and I just was like, "Oh, don't need to know any more about
So,
this."
I will say he has a very interesting life story. His music it's catchy. It's definitely poppy country, but he does have some good songs out there. I think, anyways. In saying that, him and his wife are getting a divorce, and it's kind of funny once again that you mentioned this earlier about everything being a lie because it came out that like she cheated on him, but he hit her one time, and then they both come out and make this big PR thing about how that's all a lie, and they're just separating, and it's got me thinking that like. for one, I don't really care that much, and who would spend all their time just devoted to that? Like, and is Jellyroll that big of a star that we care that much about his personal life?
I am fascinated at how people get so wrapped up in celebrities' lives. Like
Yeah,
I would,
like it's
I don't know. I've never understood that to know kind of the ins and outs about something. I may be curious about her story or about what happened there, or about like some gossip or something like that. But I would have a real hard time spending more than 2 to 3 minutes on any celebrity's Wikipedia page.
well, I mean, I don't know about that, but just in terms of actually going through the effort, other than like Wikipedia, to really care about somebody is really hard pressed by me now at this point in my life. Like I just don't, they're all people. Like I don't care anymore. Like there is no, like when you're a kid, right? Or even a teenager, like, oh man, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker. The Undertaker's really dead, right? He's from Death Valley, blah blah blah. And then you learn that he's just a human. He was just a tall person that got a lucky break. Like, I
That's
don't need to stalk them.
that's the way that I look at it. Is that the difference between you and successful people slash celebrity people is it's not that they're special, it's that the circumstances surrounding them were special. There's
Yeah.
so many other people that could have been in that same position. Like there's thousands of people that could have been in that same position. It just they had the circumstances that put them in there. So I that's why I'm not just a regular person. It's just they're really probably not that different from you.
Yeah, just let's see. I wrote down a couple of Trump things, but I feel like that could just be it's
I
just
am following the reflecting pool. Like that to me is a fascinating. Like this was a simple job. How did someone screw that whole fucking thing up? Like all you got to do is just do this job correctly. Just do this thing correctly. Can't do it.
and that's yeah, well I wrote down the reflecting pool. For those of you that aren't aware, there was some minor construction or something. They were going to be cleaning it to the reflecting pool, and then somebody or something vandalized it, and the Trump administration is now making it into this gigantic circus. They've arrested people, though they haven't said who they've arrested. I think the vandalism was really just someone poured green dye into the water, like, or blue dye. But it's all weird. Like it's a whole gigantically weird thing. Mind you, they just had that large event on the White House grounds, so there was all kinds of people from all over there. Like, yeah, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that that's what the administration wants to pivot on when there's a dozen other actual news things happening.
I think it's a certain amount of symbolism for how things are going. Yeah, right. Like I think people kind of gravitate to that, and it's like, God, can't you guys do anything right? And to talk a slight bit of politics, this has always been my thing with that administration. I'm somewhat understanding of people's different beliefs towards things because people come from different places, they have different mindsets, different priorities. So I can understand why people may believe that this is the thing that we need to do. What I don't understand is the idea of like, yeah, but you can't do it that way, right? Like, hey, to make maybe a terrible analogy, we've got a patient that's sick. They've got the flu. Like, okay, let's treat them. But the right way to treat them isn't to chop off their left arm. So that has always been my thing with this administration is like, okay, if you want to do that, fine, but that's the exact wrong way to go about it. Should we start a war with no real plan? No, we probably shouldn't do that. Like, okay, if we want to attack Iran or we need to protect ourselves from Iran or whatever, but let's have some sort of plan about what we're doing before we just do it. That's always been my issue.
That's so FIFA announced what was it, a couple of days ago that Trump is going to be giving the winning nation the trophy, the World Cup trophy at the World Cup final. And all I kept thinking was, and this isn't going to happen, but like, what if Iran won it? What would he do? Like, you know,
The
like,
sheer hilarity of it.
Yeah. And
I
go ahead.
I am fascinated by like how some of this FIFA stuff has worked out. In that, look, Seattle is a left-leaning city. Seattle is a left-leaning city. Washington is a left-leaning state. They are going to have the pride match between, I think it's like Saudi Arabia and Iran, or Saudi Arabia and Egypt, here in Seattle. And it's going to be that game. Like, you guys really should have picked a different game for that. Like, maybe not have countries that. I'm just amazed at how bad people are at things.
Wait.
And this goes back.
So,
This
like,
goes back to my whole thing about like you can't tell people that they're doing a good job when they're not.
I'm sorry. I like to think I'm kind of up on at least the World Cup. So it's Saudi Arabia, Iran, and they're. Oh wait, hold
I'm
on.
not.
No, it's Egypt. It's Egypt, Iran, and that's going to be a pride game.
That's the pride game. Probably should have picked different countries to be the pride game. And somebody looked at
I
that.
mean,
Like
Jesus.
how many layers of people looked at that and were like, yeah, let's do it there. That's the right one to do.
Dude, I mean, I'm just looking at that day alone, and and once again, I don't think Nick or I are coming off like it's just the way that the Muslim, faith is
Right.
with LGBTQ plus, right? But like when you look at the calendar that day, there's Norway, France, Uruguay, Spain, New Zealand, Belgium. Like there's other games that could have been the Pride game, and you make Egypt, Iran the Pride game.
Right. That's the problem, right? Like this isn't an
Well,
LGBTQ thing. This is just like you probably should have picked another
well, I mean,
game
let's. I
to do
mean,
that. But
FIFA also gave Trump a World Peace Prize award too. So let's not forget FIFA does suck. By the way, they put on the best tournament in the world, but they do suck.
oh, I went to one of the games. I went to Belgium, Egypt. What I was fascinated by is how corrupt FIFA seems to me, or just the idea of their corruption, is that they've got all of these people streaming into this stadium, like something close to 70,000 people with tickets for upwards of $300, and all the people working the vending were volunteers. They were volunteering.
Yeah, that's garbage. I mean, and
Isn't that
mind you,
like
though,
garbage?
it's truly insane, and they'll never release this publicly. I bet, but just how much money they'll be making off of ticket sales alone, um, it has to be in the hundreds of millions for the games.
All
Suck
right,
it. Hold on. I want to say one more. I looked at the reflecting pool. So apparently, people are saying it was never vandalized. The work created chipped paint, obviously, and some kind of blooming algae that would turn the water a different color, which apparently both have been found in the reflecting pool. And I guess there's internal memos that say that that have been passed around that say that it was never vandalized. So I don't know what's happening, but have it what you is or what it is. That's apparently what might be happening.
all right, you ready for our top five?
Let's do it.
So our top five is top five fireworks.
My number five, I'm gonna go with snaps or smoke balls. You know, like you throw them on the ground and they make that brief snap. And then obviously we know what smoke balls are. Same thing. You throw them on the ground. There's a little plume of smoke. So my number five are smoke balls and snaps.
Okay. I'm glad that you have them on your top five. I have those a little bit higher, but I'm glad that you have them on your top five. My number five is smoke bombs. Not great, but I think you got to get at least one. I remember putting like 20 in somebody's mailbox and then waiting to see all the smoke that comes out of the mailbox. You got to have one. You got to have one smoke bomb.
My number four, and I actually had to look I had to look many of these up, what they were officially called. My number four is going to be fountains, not mountains, fountains as my number four.
I like fountains. I just can't believe anybody bought that. Like, wow, you paid like $30 for that? It's just shooting lights into the sky. Like,
Well, man,
I like them.
I went to, you know what? I probably shouldn't say the name of the company, but I went to a website while I was doing some brief research. Fireworks are expensive, man. Like, good Lord. I don't know why people, like, to have a decent display over a couple of days, you're spending probably four digits.
Oh yeah, I think. Do you have one relative that would go all out on fireworks?
No, I did not.
I think every family has the one relative, usually an uncle, that's gonna go all out on fireworks. Everybody else gonna spend like
I mean,
$20. He's coming in with like $500. Goes to another
if I,
state
if
to
I
get
did,
them.
if I did, I didn't get the invite. So maybe I do, but I never got invited.
My number four is Roman candles. Roman
Okay, that's my
candles,
number three.
Roman candles are solid. You point them at people. You shouldn't, but you point them at people.
To me, there's several movies that have made that very comical, but at the same point, if you've ever been in that situation in real life, it's pretty scary.
Oh yeah, you absolutely shouldn't do it, but that's also what everybody does.
Absolutely.
Okay, so your number three was Roman candle.
Yes.
My number three is bottle rocket because there is that to me is the most. I don't know what word I want to use, but that to me is the of all the fireworks, that's the firework you're like, I'm not sure where this thing's gonna go. Let's just watch and see what happens. That is the most public
Yeah.
awareness firework. When somebody has a bottle rocket, everybody's got to be a little bit like, where's that thing gonna go? Everybody's got to be a little on
Yeah.
edge.
I feel like with all of these, except for my number two, which are the lamest, most pathetic fireworks you can imagine, though I think they're designed for kids, but regardless, I was thinking about this. I don't know. So my number two are sparklers.
Mm.
And I don't know out of any like, fun type thing if anything's more lame than a sparkler. But yet they're so popular and everyone does them. If you don't do them, you're lying.
Yeah, my number two is also sparkler, which I think statistically is the most dangerous firework. I think that they have more injuries from sparklers than any other firework.
I mean, probably based upon volume of what they sell alone, but it's like
Yeah.
it's probably kids like touching the end, which doesn't count. I need like missing appendages. I need that dictionary.
That's going to be like black cats. Surprisingly, okay, what's your number one?
Well, I think our number ones are the same, so I kind of want to change my number one to be a little
Ooh,
different than
mine is
you.
not. Mine is not. Mine's not going to be what yours is.
Okay, so my original number one, which is what I would like it to stay as, are firecrackers.
You're talking black cats. That's the way that I always refer to them as a black cat. Whether or not it's actually like a labeled black cat. But when I think of like, you just light it, it goes off in a second. You like,
Yeah.
like you have like
Okay.
a second to get rid of it or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a firecracker, and they make loud noises, and they're disruptive and annoying, and give veterans PTSD. Like, yeah, those things.
My number one is a snap. I think those little tiny
Okay.
fireworks that you have that you can like snap in your finger or you can throw them on the ground. I think those are the funnest fireworks because you can kind of mess with people a little bit, but they're safe, right? Unless you're a complete idiot who's like, I'm going to put this thing in my eye and then try to pop it with my eyelid, which I'm sure somebody has fucking done. It's amazing the amount of
Of
stupid
course.
things. It's almost impossible to think of something stupid that people have not done.
I mean, yeah. And speaking of, I think the Jackass movie comes out next week, and I'm very excited to see that. Little
They're
plug
still,
for Jackass.
man, I don't know how those guys are physically able to still do that. They got to be in their
Well,
50s.
well, I mean, as they should have. I think they're all done drinking and doing drugs and things. I think most of them are. I mean, Johnny Knoxville is like he's mentally gone, but he can still walk straight. So, um, what I was thinking about putting as my number one, which is what I really wanted to do, but I thought it was a cheat. They're called they're like when you go to fireworks shows. They're the big boom cannons.
I know what you're talking about.
But
Johnny Knoxville is
what about you?
55. Johnny Knoxville is 55 years old. That's way too old.
It's not
to be
surprising.
doing that stuff. Which means, like, when Jackass came out, he was in his. When they were really popular, he was probably in his 40s.
No,
right?
I mean,
when were they really
it was
popular?
Probably mid 2000s, so 20 years ago. So he would have been late 30s, been our age.
That's still physically, I feel like, too old to be doing that stuff. I would not have thought that he was that old.